Welcome in, ladies, gentlemen, back on the JV show.
Big T Productions.
Super Bowl preview. We're finally here. It's the matchup we've been waiting for all year long. Man, I don't think anybody expected Rams Bengals. I mean, Rams at the beginning of the season, getting that trade with Stafford, all the hypers around them. But Bengals, man, congratulations. Houday. We'll see if you guys can bring it home. I think it'll be their first Super Bowl win, which is wild. It's huge. And of course, LA playing at home again today, back on the JV show for the final episode of the 2021-22 NFL season. And we got three guests with us. Again, Mr. Luke Shepard from the Young One Show. Luke, how's it going, man?
It's going well. Happy to be on and continue with my Bengals pick.
Yeah, final episode. We know we had to have you on because you've been talking about the Bengals all year long. So excited to see what your opinions are. I'm going to assume you're going to pick the Bengals, but we'll have to wait to see. Zach, how's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I might not be picking the Bengals, but it should be a
that's
good
okay.
game.
That's okay. We're open to controversy here. If you and Luke want to battle it out, that's completely fine. And one of our new guests, first time on the podcast, Ari, his page will be linked down below. All three of these guys will be linked down below. Also, Ari, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, man, thank you very, very much for coming on. I know we've been in the works for a while. I'm excited to have you on today, excited to do this collab. And I'm excited to get down to business. I mean, Super Bowl, the game we've literally been waiting for all season long. I honestly, as I said already, this is not what I expected out of the Super Bowl, but am I disappointed? Not at all. I'm really happy that the Rams made it. And then I kind of wanted to see a Bengals because, I think everybody wanted to see the Chiefs lose. That whole Mahomes and his wife and that whole franchise is hated so much now because of that. Yeah. So personally, I'm really happy to see the Bengals succeed with that young, talented group of players. They're cocky, but they're doing it well, and they're confident in themselves, and they're winning. So, man, I'm excited to hear what you guys think about both these teams. Luke, we'll head to you first here. Let's talk about the Bengals. I know you're a big Bengals supporter. What has been the key to success for them this season, and what do they need to carry into the Super Bowl game to allow them to come home with the championship?
Well, I think there's been one of the factors this season has been they've been confident throughout the whole year in themselves. And then when it comes down to the playoffs, they've beaten every single team they've played. They've game planned for them perfectly, and they've beaten them at their own game. See, the Raiders was kind of, that was the, 20s game. And then there was the crazy Chiefs game where they beat them. And then the Titans, they beat them 19-16 or whatever.
Right.
They beat every single team at their own game. And they've been playing confidently. Joe Burrow looks like the stage doesn't frighten him at all. I think he's more ready than Matthew Stafford for the Super Bowl. So I think, despite his age. So I think that's been the main reason. They're just confident. They beat teams at their own game, and they continue to believe in themselves when others don't.
Right, 100%. No, they've been confident, as I mentioned, but they show up every single game and prove us. I thought they were gone after the first half of that KC game, but that one play at the end of the half, Eli Apple shockingly stopping Tyreek Hill on that touchdown, that changed the game for me personally. Even though it was halftime, the next half, the Chiefs just looked like a different team. Zach, let's talk to you about the Bengals here. What do you think the Bengals need to do heading into this matchup to take home a championship? And I'll change it up a little bit for you. How important is Shooter McPherson to this team? Because he's been on fire all season long, and the playoffs has just been ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the big key for the Bengals, if they want to win this game, is going to be their offensive line has to step up. You can't go against Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Leonard Floyd and allow Joe Burrow. If he gets sacked 9 times in this game like he did in that Titans game, there's no way the Bengals are winning this. So they definitely have to win up front. And then for McPherson, I kicked in high school, so, kickers to me, they are the real heroes. And if you have a good kicker, You throw back to the Patriots-Panthers game, Adam Vinatieri who wins it with a field goal. So I definitely think we could see a situation like that where it does come down to a kicker in this game, because both teams do have the ability to score on offense, and the Rams defense might be a little bit better than the Bengals, but both teams still do have good defenses. So a kicker, he will be more reliable than Matt Gay on the Rams side. So if it comes down to a kick, the Bengals probably going to come away with the win.
And doing it as a rookie too, the kicker, it looks like such an easy job. Rarely get hit at all, but they have to be so clutch. And I think McPherson, as a rookie, I've never seen that type of confidence in a player. And he's hit how many game-winning field goals in the playoffs? 1, 2 already, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's unheard of. I think this guy could possibly do it against the Rams. If he does, that's a great, crazy season. I already think that he's won the MVP for the Bengals in the playoffs. Like, Joe Burrow's been fantastic, don't get me wrong, but this guy, he's done great things for that team. Ari, what do you think the Bengals need to do heading into Super Bowl 56 to take home the trophy?
Yeah, I think just keep doing what they've been doing. I mean, even like you guys mentioned with the 9 sacks against the Titans, who would have thought that they could win that game, with Burrow getting under all that pressure. So I think it's just going to come down to Burrow, keep making those plays in the clutch, and the defense made some big plays last week in the second half after they couldn't stop them once in the first half. So I think it's just going to be just keep doing what they've been doing, and like you guys said with McPherson, he's been money all year and in the playoff.
Yeah, no doubt. Luke, now Joe Burrow here quickly before we head to the Rams. Let's play a guessing game. What do you think he's showing up wearing? Because we've seen some wild outfits from him, and I want to ask you, as a Bengals supporter here, what do you think Joe Burrow is going to show up to this game wearing?
Okay, so it'll be a diamond chain with shiesty on it. He'll have a different pair of colored sunglasses. He'll show up. He'll have this. I'm trying to think. He'll probably show up looking a little interesting. He may show up similar to what he did the AFC Championship game, leather jacket, trying to be all cool. And I mean, yeah, I could see something like that. Similar to the Chiefs game, but he'll have like a diamond chain that says like shiesty on it or something like that.
You know what? You never know what to expect from that guy. He could show up wearing leopard print. I don't know what this guy is going to show up wearing, but listen, all I know is that he's going to show up confident and he's going to be cool. And even if they lose this game, the Bengals have so much going for them in the future that, Bengals franchise, they're going to win a Super Bowl eventually, I believe, if it's not this upcoming Sunday. Zach, let's move over to the Rams now. Similar question to the Bengals. What has been their key to success all year long, and what do they need to carry into this game to help them take home the championship?
Yeah, really, their key to success has been when they don't turn the ball over, they normally win games. Whether that's through the fumbles that Cam Akers had, they did somehow beat the Bucs, even though Cam Akers was trying to give the Bucs a game. But Stafford's just got to keep the ball in his hands. He's got to throw it out to Beckham, who has really emerged and has been key for the Rams down the stretch after the loss of Woods. There was some questions. Will Odell be able to step back up? He has shown up, and he's the guy that we all thought he was. The key really for the Rams, just don't turn the ball over. Your defense is going to make plays. Matthew Stafford can't do anything stupid. He's been great throughout the playoffs. He's been able to stay calm under pressure, which is something he's been great at. Even in Detroit, he'd always make those last-second comebacks, and his defense would somehow give up a touchdown within that last 40 seconds or whatever. Now he's got a defense, and that isn't happening. I think it really just comes down to ball security, and that's what's going to win them the game because their defense will make plays. Stafford, no interceptions, and the Rams will win this game.
No doubt. Yeah, Stafford has to be on point. I mean, even they could turn over the ball once, twice, but more than that, I think that's getting into the danger zone for them. But I think the Rams, that's really all they need. If they can keep control of the ball, they're going to put touchdowns. They're going to put points on the board with Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham. He's been on fire. Cam Akers, Matthew Stafford. You can't ask for much more in an offense. Ari, what do the Rams need to do heading into this game to take home a W? But more importantly, how vital is this Rams D-line to this team and in this game?
Yeah, their secondary is a little bit banged up, although Weddle has really stepped up. I think he led them in tackles last game. But Burrow, Chase, Higgins, Boyd, all those guys, they're banged up in the secondary a little bit, so I think pressure on Burrow is going to be key early. And even though we have seen him step up even under pressure, I think that's still going to be key to this D-line to force pressure. And I think we could see at least 4, 5, 6 sacks out of them. And And then also I think stopping the run and making them more one-dimensional would be huge too. Obviously, Mixon is capable in the passing game as well, but I think just putting pressure early and stopping the run is going to be the big focal points for the Rams defense.
100%. Yeah, I think that's where the Rams can. That's where they're going to capitalize in this game is that D line, especially with Von Miller and Aaron Donald. Now we had a take, I think, on one of my posts talking about how it wasn't going to be Aaron Donald, but it was going to be Von Miller who was going to be taking home the Super Bowl MVP. Luke, what are your thoughts on that take? You think Von can really have that big of a game, like we kind of saw in 2015, I believe it was, against the Carolina Panthers?
I think he can, especially because this is the weakest O-line he's going to play in the entire playoffs. And Von Miller, the last 2 games, he's been incredible. So I think that, that's the one weakness for the Bengals is their O-line, and Von Miller can definitely exploit that. I will say, though, if he is rushing against the left tackle, that's like the one position that I feel really comfortable with as a Bengals fan because they have Jonah Williams, a former first-round pick at that spot, and he's been their, he's just been the complete anchor of that offensive line who doesn't have any other talent around it. And if he's going against him, I would be a little worried, but any other spot Von Miller goes, he could blow up again. I could definitely see it. And yeah, he could have a similar game where he ends it kind of with a defensive, strip sack or something like that because he did kill it the last couple games. So I'll give Von Miller the benefit of the doubt. I think he definitely can have a game like that.
Easily. And he's been so good, especially in the playoffs. That's, I think, where the Rams have been just so dominant is with the guys that they picked up during the year. OBJ, Von Miller in specific. Them two have just been, they've been so good for the Rams. They've done everything and more of what they've been asked. Odell Beckham, obviously, on his revenge tour, he's showing so much of just him as a player. I mean, in Cleveland, people thought he was washed, thought his career was done. I don't think he was utilized correctly there. Comes to the Rams, and he could possibly win a Super Bowl next weekend. Ari, talking about the Rams, they're playing in SoFi. How important is home field advantage in this game for them?
I mean, the thing is how, like, I'm sure they'll have a lot of celebrities show up, that didn't show up during the regular season, obviously, but I've heard mixed reports of them, like, pumping in crowd noise against 49ers in the NFC Championship. So how many fans, because obviously moving from LA to St. Louis back to LA obviously makes it tough to have that set fan base, like most teams have. So, I don't know. I mean, Bengals fans show up, so I think they're going to be pretty loud too as well. So we'll see, what that's like. But I've heard it's like a production in there, being in LA with all the noise and everything. So it'll be interesting to see, how that plays out.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, moving around this franchise so much, it's hard to establish a fan base. And again, the Bengals fans, they haven't had much success ever, period. So they're in a Super Bowl. They want to watch this thing. Diehard fans are going to want to watch this thing. So I would not be surprised to see tons and tons of Bengals fans out in LA in the beautiful weather to see their team compete for a Super Bowl. Zach, how important do you think home field advantage is for this Rams team? Because last year, Bucs playing at home. This year, the Rams, that's really unheard of. You don't really ever see a team play at home in the Super Bowl, and now we got it in back-to-back years.
See, I think the fans probably will have a little bit of an impact, but not quite. I think the bigger advantage comes to being in your own locker room. Comes to being on your own benches, in your own sideline. You're on a field that you know better than anyone else, and I think that's really where the advantage comes. You're comfortable. You're in a spot where you've been all year. You know exactly what you have to go out there and do, whereas the Bengals, flying across the country, it's not their locker room. So I think that's really the biggest thing. To me, it's not the fans. To me, it's the actual, it's the field. It's the locker rooms. It's the benches. And it's not going to be that kind of comfort that I think gives them the advantage.
The one thing I will say, if I'm not mistaken, is I think the Bengals are the designated home team, so they get their choice of the locker. So they could pick the Rams' home locker room if they wanted to. I'm
pretty sure I'm pretty sure they were put in the Chargers locker room. I don't think they got to choose. I think they were put in the Chargers home locker room because the Chargers and Rams both have different home locker rooms. So I think the NFL put them in the Chargers locker room. That way the Rams can still have theirs.
Interesting. That is very interesting though. If the Bengals are the designated home team, that is a little bit odd. I don't know exactly what the procedures are for that, but hey, I mean, that's something that I haven't actually taken into account, but that's a very good point, Zach, in that the Rams are at home and it's not really the fans that are going to play the bigger impact. It's just they're used to playing on that field. They've played 8, 9, 10 games this season in that stadium. They're comfortable, and that's going to play in because when guys have nerves heading into the biggest game of their careers, little things like playing at home and playing somewhere where you know where you've been here multiple times, that's going to play a big, big role. Luke, it's time. Let's hear your Super Bowl prediction. I know it's already going to be the Bengals, but just like give us a little bit of something.
Okay, so yep, I predicted them to go to the Super Bowl since before the wild card, and I'm sticking with it. I said they would lose, but I'm gonna say they win this time because I thought I thought the Packers were the one team that wouldn't lose to them or that would beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. Packers aren't here; it's the Rams. I think the Rams were the second team of my choice that could beat the Bengals, but I'm gonna go Bengals. I think that Jamar Chase is gonna blow up because again. That secondary is completely beat up. And I just don't see a way that Jamar Chase won't have a big game. I mean, and I think it's possible that he could be the first rookie to win Super Bowl MVP since Lawrence Taylor. I think it's very possible that we could see him winning Super Bowl MVP. But I'll give a score and MVP prediction. I'm gonna go 27-24 game-winning field goal, Evan McPherson.
There we go.
And I'll give the Super Bowl MVP to Jamar Chase. I don't think he'll have a touchdown, but I think he's gonna have like 163 yards or something crazy.
Interesting. Shooter, yeah. I agree somewhat on that. I think the Rams are going to win this game, but listen, I don't see the Bengals not winning this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go either ways, but McPherson very well may come in clutch with the field goal. Zach, let's hear your Super Bowl prediction.
For me, I'm going to be taking the Rams. I did just look it up there. The Bengals will be in the Chargers locker room. But to me, I'm taking the Rams. I think Stafford will come clutch at the end of the game. I think he'll have a game-winning drive. I think it'll be close, but the Rams' defensive line, I think, is just too good. I see a lot of similarities in this game to the Broncos and Panthers Super Bowl we saw a while back. The Panthers were the hot team. They're the young team. They had a pretty bad offensive line, and they were going up against the more experienced team with the better defensive line. And that's really what won the Broncos that game. That hurts me a lot as a Panthers fan to say, but I think we're going to kind of see some of that come through. Von Miller will show up. So will Aaron Donald, and I think that's really what wins the game for the Rams. So I'm going to go Rams. I think it's going to be close to the same score you can add. I think it'll be 24-20 for the Rams.
Nice. And Ari, let's hear your final Super Bowl predictions.
I think it's going to be kind of a slow start early for both teams, but we're going to see it pick up in the second and third quarters. And I'm going to go 30-27 Bengals, also game-winning field goal for McPherson.
Nice. Love to hear it. Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams in this game, but again, another close game. I'll say 30-24 for the Rams. That's going to close out the Super Bowl episode, and that's going to end off the 2021-22 NFL regular season on the podcast. Thank you very, very much for everybody who stayed to the end to watch and stuck through the entire season. Luke, thank you very much for staying on through the season, man.
Of course, man. Love to be on, and I can't wait till next year.
100%. Yeah. Next year, it's always going to be better, man. Zach, thank you again for coming on. I know you've been on a few times throughout the year, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been great every time I've been on.
Yeah, of course. And Ari, first timer, how did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was great. I hope to be on again next season. Thank you again for having me on.
Hey, anytime, man. And again, everybody, thank you so much for the support. And we'll see you guys after the Super Bowl. Peace out, guys.